The first recipes for lemon curd were quite literal in that they were cream with lemon juice in them to form curds that were strained out. This shocking piece of history can only lead me to believe that sometime a college bro made a time machine, went back to the 1800s, and came back with a recipe for a cement mixer shot. Let's do a modern take on lemon curd on today's episode of Wake Up, Smell the. Starting out by slicing 2 Meyer lemons, which I found after research is a mix between a regular lemon and a mandarin orange and not an Oscar Mayer attempt at putting a hot dog in a lemon. We are going to jar these 2 lemons in a simple syrup solution, which is just equal parts of sugar and water brought up to a boil. I did 1/4 of a cup of each. In a separate pot, let's bring some water alone to a boil and disinfect our canning jar, because botulism isn't a cool thing where all of a sudden you know every flower on the planet. When the jar has dried, let's go ahead and stack our lemon slices and give it all a good old-fashioned lemon flip, which was my nickname when I was on varsity basketball. I don't want to go into the details. By this time, your simple syrup solution should have come to a boil. Let's just pour those over top of our lemons. The neat thing about this preparation is that you can put the top on right now while it's still hot, and when you place it into a fridge, the cool down will cause the container to seal. Place this in the fridge for 7 to 10 days, preferably beside a product that you find refreshing after a hard day's work, and just in case any of the company are watching, may want to throw you a sponsorship and or some free product. Business email in the description. After 7 to 10 days, we need to separate the simple syrup and the lemons. This is so we can thin out the lemons in the blender if need be, or if we want to make some lemon drop shots and remember what it was like to be in high school again. We want to blend these lemons until they make a fairly thinned out slurry, but not so thin that it is watery. And for the love of God, please don't pay attention to that one seed I forgot to get out of the lemons up there in the top right. We're going to be making a double boiler, so transfer your lemon slurry into a bowl or container that can take high heat and that will fit over a pot that is simmering. Again, let's all stop paying attention to that one seed I forgot to take out, as we see it in this shot as well. If you keep bringing it up, I swear I'll turn this recipe around and take us back home. To our lemon slurry, we want to add 1/2 a cup of granulated sugar. You can go as high as 3/4 a cup if you would like it to be sweeter. We also want to add 6 tablespoons of butter, preferably cubed, because they will melt easier. Now, as I stated before, we're going to be making a double boiler, which entails bringing a pot of water somewhere between a simmer and boil underneath our bowl of slurry. Just make sure that the water itself is not touching the bottom of the bowl. As our double boiler comes up to temperature on the stove, we need to take 3 eggs, crack them, and then whisk them. Whisking is the hilarious word I came up for when you use a fork as a whisk, and also the name of my company called Whiskey Business. Patent pending. Now, with our double boiler pretty much where it needs to be temperature wise, let's take a spatula, and you just want to slowly stir this, keeping things moving around. It really doesn't matter because it won't scald on the bottom due to the double boiler. We just want to melt the butter and have the sugar dissolve. Let's also get rid of that seed that you guys can't stop talking about and bringing up. Remove the bowl with the slurry in it and keep the pot at a nice high simmer, low boil. We need to temper our eggs. What that means is we're going to ladle about 1/4 of the slurry mix into the eggs and whisk it good. Then we're going to reintroduce those eggs into that slurry mix. What this does is introduces just enough of that slurry to the eggs at the right temperature so that they don't scramble. It keeps everything smooth. Putting it all back in together and mixing it, now make sure that everything in that slurry bowl is at the same temperature to start. When we put an egg into this is that it is a thickening agent. So what we need to do is put this bowl back onto the double boiler at just a slightly lower temperature. Low and slow is the key here. Again, you don't need to go crazy with the spatula, but keep it moving so you ensure things don't settle on the bottom. We want the only lumps in this to be the lemons that we blended up, not any scrambled eggs or seeds that we finally got rid of. Eventually it will thicken up and it will coat the back of our spoon or our spatula or that sweet, sweet nappe. Just remember that things like this will thicken even more as they cool, so you want to stop it as soon as it just starts to thicken. Eventually, you want to transfer this to an airtight container that can be held in the refrigerator up to 2 weeks. I enjoy mine on toast because I'm turning into my father more and more every day. But another fun thing to do is to make cookie sandwiches out of them. That will be an upcoming recipe. Thank you for joining me on this one. See you on the next one. Hey. Thanks for watching that video. There's more like it down here. And if you enjoy them, please don't forget to subscribe. Till next time, you came, you sauteed, you conquered.